So with this idea of not giving our power away comes this idea of taking responsibility, and that idea of taking responsibility can be overwhelming for many people. And because we don't have right relationship to it exactly. It needs to be something that is understood, that you need to take responsibility from the point at which you are occupying. What I feel directly is what I must, from here, work with. And if I have the intention of that this not holding it as anything that's stuck, it's merely the condition that's currently running, and that we are actually living in a reality that is dynamic and moving and has the potential to express itself really radically differently, but certainly differently at every moment. Everything has the potential for change and redemption. This is good. Healing can happen right now, you know? So what we're doing here, we're occupying a point in the universe that is particular to exactly where you are. And that point has certain characteristics of interaction, certain characteristics of embodiment, you could call it, or of being. There are patterns of being that are established in exactly your point of consciousness in the universe. And it's not static. It's not static. You can think you know what it is, and you can apply certain stuck patterns. You can apply certain things to it that you think you know what this is, but the truth is that we are in a dynamic universe. It's where there's so much more possible than what we've been encultured into and what we've been enslaved into. So we need to become more aware of exactly how it is that we are interacting here. And that interaction is energetic at its most fundamental. And you can be sensitive to your energetic through your physical, emotional, chemical, electrical embodiment. If you can start to become aware with how this embodiment feels, and especially you start here, and then you take it into seeing, well, how does that feel in relationship, which is, you know, I've been talking about how I think relationship is like the black belt level of the martial art of being here on the planet. How to do that well is it's not simple, and how to do it well, where it's not enslaving, where it's not static, where it has the potential to be ecstatic. In the ecstatic paradigm, nothing is stuck, so there's always going to be an element of revelation of the unknown. But there's certain things that you can rely upon. You know, there's certain things that we need to be able to rely upon something, or else we feel really like unmoored. And we want to have this freedom of the unknown being able to reveal itself, but we also want to have a certain level of safety, something that we feel like we can rely upon as mostly known, even though it still may reveal itself to be holding aspects that you didn't yet know, but that you have a handle on at least knowing how to relate to it enough. Okay. What we need to learn is there are two pillars. There are two pillars that I am using that have continued to hold really well for me. These are like the handles on the steering wheel. These two anchors, one is space, one is time. Another way to look at it is my relationship in space and my relationship in time. And there are two things that, that are not the old paradigm, that are not stuck, that are going to help me to find a right relationship into space and time, in relationship in the face of the unknown, facing and welcoming the unknown to teach me more. Because obviously what I've known, what I've developed from here is not enough. That I really need to learn a whole new way of being, and I want to be open to that. I want to invite non-enslavement. I want to invite right relationship with the universe. So this is actually a really interesting relationship to have with reality, because I'm seeing that there are all these patterns of static, enslaved, we can call them static and enslaved patterns, but I want to come at it from a point of view of love. How do I approach this in a way that leaves open the door for redemption? Because those patterns are also in me, and I need to understand how to have right relationship here, and hopefully that inspires, that more and more can move into right relationship. So there are these patterns of tension. There are these tension fields that have been enculturated into how we are relating with ourselves and with each other. And the original intention of those tension fields was to feel better, to actually feel better. And that's not unworthy. That's actually a really good intention, is to feel better, because health feels better. Health is going to feel better. I mean, if we were really healthy, one of the clues that we would be healthy is that we would be feeling good. Yeah. And then, another piece is having range of motion, where you can maneuver around and know what's going to not feel good and what will feel better. And then the black belt piece is to really take it into relationship, where it's not just you feeling better, but everything gets to feel better with your interaction. That's really leads us into the ecstatic paradigm, where who you are and how you're being is really feeding the nourishment of everything, of the all. Right relationship with these tension fields is from the ecstatic paradigm. In the ecstatic paradigm, nothing actually has to be excluded. Ultimately, endgame, everything is included. The wholeness comes back into one ecstatic dance that is not, it's not static, it is ecstatic. It is revealing itself anew at every moment, and everything is in relationship to everything else, and you're included there. You're not separate from that, It's like, and you can't be. You can't be. The truth is that we cannot be separate. It's one universe. But you are doing a subset from here. You're not aware of the whole universe, certainly not from here. Well, this is like the embodiment task, is to actually not be aware of the whole thing. And how do we do this well when we don't know everything? You have to be open to the unknown. You have to be willing that you don't know. You have to be willing to know that you don't know, and to act accordingly. And keep checking in with, okay, how does this feel? And does this feel like it's going to nourish the next moment? Do I need to, give myself more time with it? You don't want to be forcing anything ahead. There are many things that you can do to encourage a nourishing moment, and being respectful. So my two poles here. One is respect, and the other one is intending nourishment. And respect knows that the universe is one, but from here, we have to respect that every point is perceiving slightly differently. maybe radically differently. But it is still a part of the fabric of the whole. And so respect is going to know that you have got to find your right relationship with everything so that everything gets a chance to find its best flowering. Everything gets a chance to express itself in its most ecstatic way that then can be relaxed with and enjoyed and moved on to something else. It's a dynamic ecstasy, right? And how do we do that? How do we do that well? We have to take responsibility for it. You have to take responsibility for actually being respectful. And that's not easy given what's going on right now. It's a very disrespectful paradigm out there. It's like, oi, how do we develop right relationship with that? The relationships that I want are based in love, and to have some deeper understanding of what love is, to know that it's mostly an unknown, that we haven't done it very well, and to start to look and see, well, what are the principles that I can recognize and that I can trust mostly to see if I'm pointed in a love direction or not, One of them is respect. A big piece of it is respect, knowing that everything deserves to be here, although in right relationship, where, there's spaciousness that no harm is done, and that exploration can happen without harming anyone else. That would be best. That would be best. Or if you're going to engage, that there's an agreement, and that be done in a way that, if there's exploration into ways that have risk, in this reality, there's a lot of risk. And a risk to not feel good. We have the capacity to not feel good. Bless our hearts, That was a big risk coming here. This was a big contract to sign, to come in here, because you can feel pretty bad here. Can really feel bad here. So, and you can inflict a lot of feeling badness, and we've been doing it for eons, and, we really need to the display of it right now is just so blatant, and, yeah, so how to remind people, how to remind ourselves, this is actually a moment to practice respect and nourishment. And, that could mean disengaging. Absolutely, it can mean disengaging, because you first have to take responsibility here. And, but if you are inevitably engaged, we have to start to look and go, I want this to be respectful, and I want it to be nourishing, and I want to stop doing any behaviors that are less than that. And to begin to really commit to that. That's a high spiritual work right now, and extremely worthy.